Good morning, students. Welcome to our class, Biological Science. So in the previous class, we have already started our lesson, Reproduction. We have started our lesson, Reproduction, and we discussed so many things about the animals that present around us, and what are the methods and how, in which way they are reproducing the animals. First of all, reproduction means the process by which living organism produce new offsprings. Living organism produce new offsprings. On the basis of bear the babies or produce the babies, they are categorized into two types: oviparous and viviparous. Viviparous. We discussed this. What are oviparous animals and what are their characters? What are viviparous animals and what are their characters? Oviparous animals means animals which lay the eggs, egg-laying animals. Viviparous animals means the animals which produce the new offsprings from their bodies. And the characteristics that present in these animals. Viviparous animals have external ears and epidermal hairs on their body. For example, cows, elephants, humans, like this. Viviparous animals do not have this type of features or characters. External ears and feathers. They do not have that. Example, fish and frogs. Laying egg. Fish, frog, birds, lizards. These all are. Viviparous, monkeys, humans, elephants, cows. These all are. For the process of reproduction, we have already known that the fertilization must be takes place. What is that? Fertilization. What is fertilization? The fusion of male gamete with the female gamete is called. The fusion of male gamete with the female gamete is called fertilization. That means the male gamete sperm, when it fuses with the ovum, it produces zygote. This is fertilization. We discussed that asexual mode of reproduction also. Reproduction is two types: sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. In the previous class, we discussed that asexual mode of reproduction, where the fission does not take place. Gametes also not produced in that. Hydra, amoeba, we discussed that. Now we are observing that reproduction that happens sexually. So in the sexual reproduction, the fertilization must be takes place. The male gamete with the female gamete, and it forms zygote. In the first step of fertilization, the sperm must be fuses with the ovum and it forms the zygote. Here the nucleus of the sperm fuses with the nucleus of sperm and it forms the single nuclei. The 2n becomes single nuclei. Then this egg is called zygote. Do you understand? In the first step of fertilization, during the fission time, the nucleus of the sperm fuses with the ovum and it forms the mixed nuclei, that is zygote. On the basis of fertilization takes place, whether it is inside of an animal body or outside of an organism body, it has divided into two types. One is internal fertilization and another one is external fertilization. Internal, external. Fertilization. First I will explain about internal fertilization. What is internal fertilization? If the fertilization takes place inside of an animal body, is called internal fertilization. For this purpose, the sperm of the male, the male gamete of the animal reaches to the female body inside the female body. That is called internal fertilization. Okay, na? What is internal fertilization? The process of fertilization that takes place inside of an animal body. For this, it is necessary for the sperm to reach the body of female animal, inside the body of female animal, and the female animal body have the special features or the body designs to receive the sperm. Do you understand? Okay, it is very important in the internal fertilization. The sperm must be reached inside of the female body. For this, entering of sperm into the female body, it has the special features. So, when the sperm fuses into the womb, it forms zygote. This type of fertilization, which takes place inside of an animal body, is called internal fertilization. Example of animals that performs the internal fertilization: snakes, lizards, birds. Okay, correct. And mammals. Example. Okay, snakes, lizards, insects also. Insects, snakes, lizards, birds, and mammals, etc. So these are the examples. So in this case, dear students, we observe that internal fertilization. Okay, the process of fertilization that takes place inside of an animal body is called internal fertilization. Examples: insects, snakes, lizards, birds, and mammals. In this process, the sperm must be reached inside of female body. So that is internal fertilization. Do you understand? Okay. What has happened after the formation of zygote? Okay, now. So, the development of zygote. We are going to discuss development of zygote. So, when the zygote is formed by the fusion of male and female gametes, zygote is formed. The zygote divides repeatedly, continuously, and it forms a small ball of cells in the female body. Okay, when the fertilization takes place in the female body, the zygote is formed. The zygote divides continuously or repeatedly, and it forms a small ball of cells. It forms a small ball. Zygote divides into a small ball of cells. These cells then repeatedly divides. Okay, then again continuously divide. These cells then again continuously divide and forms different groups of cells, and it forms groups of cells. These groups of cells form different types of tissues and organs. Okay. The zygote continuously divide and it forms group of cells, a small ball of cells, and it divides into the number of tissues and organs. It forms a number of tissues and organs. At this time, the zygote is embedded in the walls of the uterus, garbhaşaya. The zygote is embedded in the walls of the uterus. You can see the diagram in your textbook. Just follow the textbook and the diagram. So the zygote is embedded in the walls of the uterus. And the further development of the zygote takes place here. The zygote divides continuously and it forms different types of body parts. Do you understand? From the zygote, different types of parts are formed. The first, hands and legs, head, eye, and ears are formed. Okay, now ears are formed. So the zygote divides repeatedly and it forms different parts like hair, hands, legs, head, eye, and ear. From the third month of the pregnancy, the zygote is called fetus. What is that? Fetus. From the third month of the pregnancy, the zygote is called fetus. Okay, from the zygote to the fully developed fetus with the distinct part, that period is called pregnancy period. From the zygote to fully developed fetus with the distinct parts, it is called pregnancy period. The pregnancy period approximately lasts for 270 to 280 days. It is also known as gestation period. After completion of this gestation period or pregnancy period, the new baby is born. Do you understand? Okay, so this is the way of development of zygote takes place. You will learn more clearly or clarity about it in the coming classes. In the 10th class, you will learn more about it. Do you understand this? Okay, when the zygote is formed, it divides continuously and forms a group of cells. The cells again divides into tissues and organs, and it forms different types of body parts. At the time, the zygote is embedded in the walls of the uterus. The further development of zygote takes place in the uterus. Okay, so from the 3rd month of the pregnancy, the zygote is called fetus. During this time, the zygote develops the hands, legs, hand, eye, and ears. From zygote to the fetus, fully developed fetus with the distinct parts, it is called pregnancy period. The time taken from the zygote to fully developed fetus with the distinct part, it is called pregnancy period. After this completion of the pregnancy period, 270 to 80 days, the baby is born. It is also known as gestation period. Okay. So, that is the way of sexual reproduction that takes place in the mammals. Okay? Here we have to identify, in our book one problem is there. Okay, they have given what happens, what is the condition or what happens to the couple or the women who are unable to bear the babies. Okay, and what is the problem of the women? Nowadays we are observing these conditions, these problems in the new marriage couples. Okay, now the couple may not have the babies for 10 years or 20 years or 15 years. What is the reason behind it? What is the problem they have inside their bodies? The problem is scientifically proven that the oviducts of some of the women, we already discussed that in the female reproductive system there is a pair of oviducts are there, which sperm travels through this. Okay, now oviducts are placed. So when the oviducts are closed, when they are closed or damaged, the sperms are unable to reach the womb. In these cases, these women whose oviducts are blocked, they are unable to bear the babies. Do you understand this? What is the problem? Scientifically, the problem is in some of the women, the oviducts are blocked due to the various reasons. Okay, in this case, the women whose oviducts are blocked, they are unable to bear the babies. In these cases, the freshly collected egg and sperm is allowed to keep together in a test tube. They collected the freshly released egg and sperm and placed them together in a test tube and allow them for in vitro fertilization. What is that? IVF. In vitro fertilization. It is also known as IVF. That means in vitro fertilization. So after the fertilization, fission of the sperm and ovum, it forms the zygote. And the doctors allowed to develop the zygote a week in that test tube. Later, it is inserted or injected into the mother's uterus again. The total development of the baby or the egg zygote takes place in the mother's uterus. Okay, the baby is born after the gestation period as like any other boy or girl. Okay, this type of technique is called test tube babies. Okay, na? These are called test tube babies. So here the term test tube baby misleading us. most of the persons or most of the people think that if they test tube baby, the test tube baby means the baby is developing in a test tube. It is 100% wrong. Okay, na? The term test tube baby means only the eggs are fertilized in the test tube, and again after the 1 week for the development of zygote, the egg is injected into the or inserted into the mother's uterus, and the total development of zygote takes place in the mother's womb. Okay, so this is because of our science, technology, biotechnology. Okay, so this is the internal fertilization. Do you understand, students? Okay, very good. Thank you.